the Fire Love Podcast. Y'all already know it's Dot.
And it's your boy Nate.
And if you're just now tuning in, please make sure that you subscribe and you hit that like button. We're always talking about hot topics and we're always trying to give you tips on how to keep your love lit. So before we hop in, I just want y'all to notice something. I think that this is the first episode on season 3 that Nate doesn't have on a hat. Can we just take a moment and just...
It's a moment of silence.
We have been recording this entire season in quarantine, so Nate has been abiding by the social distancing rules, and he hasn't had a haircut. And so I just wanted to point out that you're looking like a whole zaddy right now.
Notice you say zaddy.
A zaddy.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy 4 months of 2020, I would say.
How do you feel? You have no hat on. You look cute, I'm just saying.
I felt naked today because I was like, babe, can I wear a hat?
I'm like, you don't need to wear a hat. The hat was like you don't have yourself together, but now you have yourself together.
I think that people start to get, comfortable with me wearing a hat now. So
they probably don't even know who you are. They're like, who
so
is that?
Without the hat, I kind of feel like a different person, though. Like, I'm going to be real honest with you guys.
You look like a different person. So how you doing, babe?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused, and health is wealth.
There's been a lot that has been going on since the last time we had an episode.
Yep.
So forgive us. We told you guys when we started, we're just now starting our YouTube channel. So thank y'all for going along with us and with the inconsistencies and everything. So we're not even gonna hold y'all. We're gonna hop right in because we got things to talk about. So I want to do Flames, Flicker, Smoke. And that's where we give a topic or a couple and we rate it.
Yeah.
So would it be flames, flicker, or smoke to see one of your friends' significant other cheating on them and you not saying anything? Flames being like, yes, you should not say nothing. Smoke being like, if you don't say nothing, you are a horrible friend.
So I guess I'm going to go with my decision on this. Man, this is a good one. I would say smoke.
Oh, really? You would say something?
Yeah, I would say something. But before I say something, I would actually go into more details. I would actually try to find more information, trying to figure out what it really is before I say something. So once I feel like I found enough proof or evidence of what is going on, then I gotta tell the homie, bro. I can't be that guy that just watch one of my homies significant others cheating on them. That's not right. I would expect the same thing for my brothers, to do the same thing for me because I do things out of love. So I like things to move smoothly in the right way, in the right direction.
I'm with you. I really want to say smoke, like for real, I want to say smoke because I feel like my personality, I would immediately like go up to him like, yo, what's going on? I would call my friend, and I've actually called my friend immediately. And this is the only reason I'm going to say flicker, because there have been times where I've jumped the gun, where I've seen situations that didn't look right and I didn't ask questions, I didn't get more information, and I just made that phone call, and ultimately I made a situation worse than what it was supposed to be. Because like you said, you asked for more information.
Exactly.
And I didn't. I remember calling a friend. She was literally on set with her boyfriend. And I'm like, girl. And it ended up ruining her entire gig that she had. So, and then also like they were in a situationship, and also this person, like they were working together. So I'm going to say a flicker, only because get more information.
I agree. You got to get more information
before you just
jump. That could have been a cousin or something. You know what I'm saying? So
you never know. And you don't know if they're broken up in that moment. You don't know if they're in an entanglement. You don't know if it's a situation. Speaking of entanglements and breaking up, y'all.
Entanglement.
we have to talk about Will and Jada. And I am just so excited to hop into the conversation. So, y'all already know Will and Jada, they do the Red Table Talk on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They actually broke a record of the most watched Facebook show.
Exactly.
12 million views in less than 24 hours because everybody wanted to hear what was going on with Will and Jada. Yeah. So I first just want to commend the both of them for having the bravery to be that honest and that raw about a relationship that is so idolized. Yeah. And I just want to say, I love, babe. Like when I say I love that they sat down and kept it 100. Because for me, when it comes to relationships, we really need to normalize that relationships are not perfect. Like, I still think Will and Jada are goals. And I think that what happens is people put these relationships up on a pedestal and they think that every relationship is supposed to be perfect. Yeah. And so when they get into issues or trouble or situations, they run from it because they're like, this is not what a relationship is supposed to look like. It's supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be like what I see on the movies. So I love that they were like, yes, we are your relationship goals. And we've been going through it. Yeah. We are struggling. I just really think that opened a whole new world for people to really understand that even the relationships that seem like they are the most perfect are still going through it.
There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. That's the thing that people really need to
talk about it, babe. I got notes, okay? Talk about it, babe.
Man,
talk about it.
It's crazy, man.
So she explained that they broke up. Mm-hmm. That was like a big bombshell. Like, wow, the Will and Jada, the most in love, beautiful, successful couple in Hollywood, broke up. They were done with each other. And she got into a relationship with August Alsina. Mm-hmm. So was it shocking to you, for one, to find out that they broke up?
No, it was actually not shocking at all. I do believe that people go through phases in relationship and even in marriage where two couples start to lose interest, start to lose trust, start to feel like they're not wanted anymore. So all it takes is just that one person to feel like, I don't want to do this no more. Even if I wanted to keep the relationship alive, but if Dot decided to say, you know what, Nate, I just need a break. Just give me like a few months to figure out what's going on with me personally, then that's what normally happens. And I think people need to understand it takes two to make a relationship works. Even if I wanted to keep it alive and you decided to say, I can't push through, I have to come to a conclusion and figure out what it is I can do on my end to help you come back to unity.
So you like that they had this moment of like, we need some space so that we can figure stuff out.
It's very important because this is when you figure out what you really need. Because you can be going through a tough time in your life or a tough time of a period. Some insecurities might be kicking in. So, you might be feeling some type of way about yourself personally.
And that's what Jada said. She said that, during this period of her breaking up and separating, she realized that she was looking for happiness, but she could only find happiness within herself. So it's like she was depending on Will for her happiness, which made her feel like he's not making me happy, so let's break up. And when she broke up, she realized what she was seeking could only be found in herself. And I think that that's important too. I think that with all relationships, it might not be that you need to break up and find somebody else, but you might need to break up and travel more. You might need to break up and save your money. You might need to break up and just figure out what it is about you that you're lacking. Because sometimes when you're in a relationship, you can lose sense of yourself. Yeah. So I think it's really important that they let us know, we took a moment. I want to say, because we're engaged, and we're about to get married, and we hear that this marriage of 25 years had to break up. And I know that divorce rates are high, and I know we're going into this with the expectation that we're going to be together forever. But when I see stuff like this, it does give me a quick moment of whew, we really about to do this. Like, it doesn't scare me, but it just reminds me that we really have to be prepared and geared up, because we haven't even touched year 1 of marriage. I can only imagine what year 25 will look like for us. And just knowing that, like, down the road, they felt like they wouldn't be together anymore. Does that scare you when you start thinking about marriage for us?
No, it actually doesn't scare me. I think people have to really understand that it takes two to make it work. And then when you're married, you gotta understand that it's no longer about you. So once your partner decides that, hey, I don't feel like I want this anymore, that's when you get back to square one and figure out what is the main issue. And then allow your partner to breathe, allow your partners to figure out, even if your partner has to go to therapy to kind of like figure out what is the issue. Maybe your partner might feel like, she's no longer interested in you, or you no longer interested in them anymore, or maybe the love is dying down. And I do believe that things like that happens.
Yeah.
And we have to be real with each other and understand that, this can really happen. But if you're truly, truly, truly honest with yourself, then you can make it work. So if I come to a conclusion, I say I don't want this marriage no more, but we still love each other in a sense, and we still provide for especially if we have a family, y'all, especially if we have kids and we raising kids, it's gonna come to a conclusion where like we can't be selfish. Because we have a family, we have to do what's best for the family, and that's the part of marriage. Yes, it's between you guys, but when family gets involved, that's when you have to sit down and figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I see stuff like this with relationships that have been a long time going, and they had to take a step and a moment back, it doesn't scare me because it does remind me that, what we're about to embark upon is really serious, but also like what works for different people works for different people. Exactly. And everybody has different issues. Yep. Like, just because Jada needed a moment to separate to find her happiness doesn't mean that we will need to. Mm-hmm. It may mean that we need to figure out what something else is in our relationship, but it might not equate to taking a break. It might not equate to needing to find someone else. And for me, like, when I watch that, I really kind of admire the way that they are genuinely friends. And I really want that for us. Like, I want to be able to have those tough conversations, and for us to be able to sit with our legs folded across from the table and talk about it and laugh about it, because I think that's the most important thing in a relationship, is when you are feeling those things. She felt comfortable enough to say to Will, like, I don't feel happy. Like, I need to take a break. And I think that that's an attribute from that whole thing that we saw on Facebook. I mean, a lot of people took away the word entanglement. I took away
a new word that some people probably didn't even know the word, but
and
this
so
week,
what I took away from it is really just having like the guts to be able to say what it is that you want to say and to put it on the table, because that's the only way you're going to be able to heal yourself, and that's the only way you're going to be able to present your best self to your relationship, is if you're able to say like, yo, I don't know what's going on right now, but I need a moment because I'm not bringing forth my best self. And for the other person to be able to reciprocate that and to say, I respect it. I'm going to allow you to take whatever moment that you need to take. And I think the most beautiful thing about them is that when it was all said and done, they came back to each other.
Yeah, and I think a part of it has to do with friendship. And I think people forget that friendship saves relationships. Yeah, love is love. Yeah, I can find this person very, very attractive. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if there's no type of loyalty and friendship in the relationship, then it's gonna be a hard time to come back around. Because I'm big on loyalty and I'm big on friendship. I value friendship more than anything. Because if we can build a friendship, that's when the love kicks in. No matter what, if you did me wrong, I will feel so bad about it, but I will the friendship kicks in. And
so, babe,
like,
if we broke up and I had me a little entanglement, could we get back together?
I'm gonna be real honest with you.
If we broke up,
yeah, I'm gonna be real honest. We probably will be back together, and I think a part of it has to do with the the hard work we've put in. You know what I'm saying? The hard work and the how much time we invested into this idea of love, this idea of relationship goals that people so-called think is perfect. You know, and then people do forget that you will crash, and when you do, that the best way to do is figure it how to keep the train moving.
Yeah.
You know, and without catching any type of
we're humans, and we're continuously growing. We're continuously going through trials and tribulations and learning ourselves and figuring out ourselves and losing ourselves within a relationship and love. You gotta allow each other the space to continue to evolve. And I think you have to have the maturity to let that take place. I feel what happens is the insecurity, like, if I give you space, you're gonna find somebody better than me. And that only comes if you're not doing your job. If you've given 100% from the very beginning and you've put your all out there and someone says they need space, you'll feel confident to say, take your space. Because if somebody else can do better than I can, then go with them. Because I've given you everything I can give you. I think that it's a maturity level, and that's the type of person that you want to be with. And like you said, like, friends first, friends over everything. They were laughing.
Because
they said, like, we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. And it was a very, like, uncomfortable moment for me because that laugh was, like, very weird. But I love that they said bad marriage for life, because we all have this fantasy idea of what marriage is supposed to look like. And when you look at what it really is, it looks horrible. It's bad. You're dealing with two people bringing their worst parts of themselves to the table and saying, here you go, and here you go. And y'all are just pushing through day by day, and it is ugly. So when they said bad marriage for life, I just was like, yes. Like, it doesn't sound glamorous, because marriage won't be glamorous. And so everyone wishes that it wasn't that way. That's why we write about these beautiful romance stories, because they're unrealistic. At the end of the day, you're human. Yeah. I'm human. Yeah. Nobody's perfect but God. Yeah. But what we are agreeing to is to ride with each other through it all. Yeah. To help each other be better. Yeah. To respect each other, to allow each other to grow. Yeah. And to have unconditional love. And that's as real as it gets. Like,
no entanglement, right?
No entanglement.
You ain't with that, huh? You ain't
trying
You ain't trying to touch that side. You ain't trying to go to that side of the world.
No. I'm not planning on having any entanglements. But I'm not gonna say but. I will say we're both gonna grow. And 25 years of marriage, we might get on this podcast and talk about marriage in a completely different way. And whatever that way is, I'm looking forward to it.
I like that. I really do. And
because it will change, and it will evolve, and our idea of marriage and love will grow with what we've experienced. I think we're both going into it with the same idea, but I think, like, after some years it might change, it might not. That's the beauty of it. It's our relationship.
It's what we
want. Yeah. So shout out to Will and Jada. I still think y'all are relationship goals. Man, y'all had the audacity to come on TV and tell it like it is. And y'all made mad money off of this whole interview. Something that would ruin most relationships. Just put money in a bank. So remember that.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Fire in love, fire in love. I'm in the flames, fire in love.
Babe, I hear you. Is that a little voice?
Fire in love,